That's why I say, when they say, who's Dina? I'm like, I'm clumsy and foolish. That's who I am. I remember the first race that I did with a starter's gun. I was terrified of the starter's gun. Underperforming in London had really instilled on me the need to execute in the moment. And I remember I did the semi. My start it wasn't as good as it could be. Before I was like, nope, today we are not having that day. So in the final, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna execute, and I'm gonna absolutely win this race.
Asher-Smith now really starting to get into a running, tearing away from the rest of the field. What a phenomenal race from Dina Asher-Smith.
Always been a huge fan of Christina Horrigu, Jessica Ennis-Hill. I'd run an amazing time, I'd performed under pressure. I remember just thinking, I really want to feel this again.
So eyes on Asher-Smith, doesn't get the best start at all. Now starting to come through. Asher-Smith wins by 0.04 of a second.
It was great fun, European champ.
I think my earliest memory is the 2004 Olympics in Athens. I remember Kelly Holmes got a double gold, the men's relay 4x1 won gold, and that was my first idea or introduction to, I guess, kind of elite sport. My parents are sports mad. I just remember being like, this looks so cool. These people work really hard and they train really hard, and then once every 4 years or once every other year they get together and they just kind of see who's the best. Isn't that so much fun? And it was from watching that Olympic Games that I knew that I wanted to be an athlete when I was, older. I was pretty good when I was younger. I remember the first race I had to use blocks for. And I remember the first race that I did with a starter's gun. I was terrified of the starter's gun. I feel like I used that as incentive to get out at the start really well, because I was like, I don't want to get hurt. My parents are constantly very, I feel again, normal parents, but they're always just proud with whatever I'm doing. My mum and dad, they're people that's obviously they're really happy when I'm doing well on track, but ultimately as a person, they just want me to be happy overall. So even if that meant that I just picked up the phone straight after this interview and was you know what, I'm done, don't want to do it anymore, they might be shocked, but they'd be cool, because I'm their child first. Simple to say, but I think I just always know whether I'm having the best day of my life or the worst day of my life, my parents are going to feel exactly the same, and that's something that I definitely don't take for granted. I was fortunate enough to have loads and loads of heroes. I remember watching Kelly Holmes do incredible things in Athens over the 8 and the 15. Always been a huge fan of Christina Horrigu, Jessica Ennis-Hill. Each of those women, they achieved incredible things like Olympic gold, career highs, but it hadn't always been easy. I very much grew up watching them and their stories. It's very refreshing, and I think it's refreshingly honest, and also something that us Brits do so well. I remember the last race before I came into Europeans, I did awfully. I think it was London Diamond League, I ran the 200. I knew I was in great shape, but I ran really badly at London. I was really disappointed. So I remember coming into Berlin, I was a bit frustrated actually, because I knew that I was in a great place, but I think underperforming in London had really instilled on me the need to execute in the moment. As an athlete, most of the time you know what kind of shape you're in, you know what you're capable of, but that means absolutely nothing unless when the gun goes, you actually do what you're meant to do. Otherwise it's just a could've, should've, would've, you know? And having that race that I was not happy with at all really instilled in me the need for execution.
Well, darkness has descended on Berlin, but the Berlin Olympic Stadium is lit up because the women in the 100 metres final are just about to be presented.
I remember the 100 very well because we had Daphne and Gina and Majinga. There's so many very, very quick girls in Europe, particularly at that time. And I remember I did the semi. My start it wasn't as good as it could be. And immediately it threw me back to kind of me not doing as well as I wanted to in the race 2 weeks before. I was like, nope, today we are not having that day. So in the final, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna execute, and I'm gonna absolutely win this race. I have a little routine that I do going into the blocks. I can do it with my eyes closed. I tread on the blocks, make sure they're in the ground so you know they don't slip, because as I said, I'm clumsy. So tread on them, make sure that they don't move, because that would be an incredible Dina thing to do. And then get into my blocks, make sure that feel primed like a little coil, and I'm ready to go, and then I kind of pick a point on the track and zone out. I try to not like listen for the gun. I just try and think about what I'm gonna do in 3, 4, 5 steps time, because I find that you're actually a quicker starter when you just feel, especially the first few steps, you just feel it and you just go.
Well, Asher-Smith out very quickly, so too Kambunji, but Asher-Smith now really starting to get into a running, tearing away from the rest of the field. It's Asher-Smith all the way through to the line over the final 20 metres.
I didn't have a time that I wanted to do in my head, I just wanted to win. And when I crossed the line, I saw 10:85, which time I'm grateful that I've done more than once now. But at that time, 10:85 was a really big breakthrough. I just remember being like, oh my word, that's like a serious sprinter time. Like, that's like I can win Diamond Leagues, I can be a global medalist kind of time.
Dina Luckenkamper gets Germany a medal, but it's Dina Asher-Smith. And just look at that time, it's a new British record, 10:85. Daphne Schippers, gold 2 years ago, has to settle for bronze, but it's a season's best of 10:99. What a phenomenal race from Dina Asher-Smith.
It's my first championships and I came out and run a 10:8. I was so happy. I remembered not to rest on my laurels and bees. Those are the strongest memories out of the Berlin 100-meter race. I remember feeling very tired and I remember thinking, wow, I've still got the 200 to go, I'm exhausted. When you're inside the stadium at European Championships, the kind of atmosphere can feel very much like a World Championship.
What a treat this promises to be. Women's 200 metres final. A chance for Dina Asher-Smith to get the double, a chance for Daphne Schippers to excel at her best event, twice world champion, so here they come.
I remember I was raised in Daphne, and Daphne is, I think, again, somebody who is incredibly underrated. Not only was she phenomenal, but she's a nice person. And I was like, look, if I want to win this race, I have to get out and I have to be off the bend first, because otherwise Daphne's going to come back for me like a train. I think my coach just said, absolutely go for it. Execute and do everything that I would normally do, but just every single phase of this 200 that you go to, like, you need to elevate. If it was sharp before, just a bit sharper. Transition a bit well, come off the bend, it was quick before, just a bit quicker.
Nowhere near as warm, nowhere near as nice sprinting conditions as we had for the 100 metres, so perhaps we shouldn't expect too much from the times, but what we can expect surely is a fascinating and perhaps brilliant race. Let's see.
He told me, I really want you to run through that line, and he prepped me for, if you feel Daphne here, if you feel Daphne there, remember to relax, don't be surprised, like, she's incredibly fast, but if you tense up, you will not get this. So he definitely really, I mean, he's a coach, but he coached me through exactly how to run that race against like the exact competition.
Daphne Schippers, the double world champion.
I just remember being like, cool, gonna get it done. But again, I'm tired. So it was definitely an adrenaline run. It was pure heart.
Dina Asher-Smith going for a double. Away they go, and Asher-Smith already eating up the stagger on Samuel outside, well clear, and Skipper's a long way back. She finishes well, of course, but what a brilliant run this is by Asher-Smith.
I was just running on pure adrenaline at that point. Like, I was so exhausted.
Skipper's coming through now, but it's Dina Asher-Smith all the way down the home straight. Skipper's long legs can't catch Asher-Smith.
I was very shocked to run a 21.8. I definitely thought I had it in me to win, but I didn't know it was going to result in a 21.8. So that was incredible, and that for me was yeah, that was an amazing run. Now I double up all the time. I know that the idea of having to kind of have such a physical and emotional high, and then the drop, and then having to pick yourself back up for another event is a real skill in itself. And I think that was the first time I had to actually like learn how to do that. It felt really special, I think, because it was a new, in inverted commas, event for me. I'd run an amazing time, I'd performed under pressure. I remember just thinking, I really want to feel this again. Always said that I'm just so lucky to have met John. Like, he absolutely changed my life. Like, I was so lucky to have somebody who was so selfless, so obviously so intelligent and so good at what they did, but also had integrity and is so selfless, and set me up with lots of key skills, not only for athletics and sport and how to navigate that and perform under pressure and all those boring sporty headlines, but also as life, as a young woman, how to treat people that you work with. And because I was with him from when I was 8 years old, he really molded me into the person that I am today. And yeah, even though now I've very recently just moved, when people like talk to me about John, I have absolutely no qualms or hesitations in underlining how I would not be here today without his hard work and the skills and the characteristics that he's instilled in me. Because I do think I'm always going to be his athlete, just as I'm always going to be an athlete of Edric Floreal. Like, I believe that it's a journey and you learn from each place that you've been. I'm just, so grateful for John. I love John to bits, and he's probably more like a member of my family at this point than like a past coach. With Edric Floreal, he's just got so many athletes that have done incredible things in the past. Like, when you look at his resume, he's had world record holders, Olympic gold medalists, Olympic finalists, blah, blah, blah. And whether they did that with him or they've done that under 4 or 5 years of his tutelage when they were in their collegiate days, I think that his resume is just incredible. It's one of the ones that I think, when I was doing all my research, it was really kind of one of the ones in sport that, well, the sport that we don't necessarily highlight too much, which I was like, I was astounded to find out like who had trained under him at some point. Like, it was insane. So I'm really excited to follow the season and see my development. We're definitely pushing, I think for me, it's pushing the ideas of what I thought I could do and what I was capable of. Because obviously I've been inside my body for a while, which sounds crazy, but I have, obviously. But he's come to me with like a fresh set of eyes. So he is seeing all these things that I hadn't even really considered for myself. Like, if you told me this time last year I was gonna split a 51-400, like the 4x4 leg, and be happy but also annoyed that I didn't like take it out a second quicker because I could have made a second up, like, I would have laughed at you, you know, because I was very happy doing the 1, the 2, the 4x1. So for me, I think it's about challenging, for me with Edric, I think it's about challenging my own expectations and dreams and aspirations for myself, and really being limitless in what I see for myself and also limitless in my pursuit of them. Europeans is huge. I think that it is one of our favorite championships because track and field is so popular and so loved in Europe. Like, with the passion from the fans and the caliber of the performances, like, it's tough to be a European champion is not easy. It's likely I'll just be doing the 100 meters and the relay. I'm not, as far as I'm aware, I'm not doing the 2 in Rome. But I'm so excited for European Championships. I have very big goals for myself and very big aspirations of what I want to run, especially when I run the 100, and how I want to run it and how I want to win it. So I'm very excited for that championships. I was definitely very frustrated in Munich. So I'm very excited to have another European Championships. And I love Rome. I love doing the Rome Diamond League. That stadium is beautiful with all the statues in the warm-up area. I think they just had it resurfaced. And the football stadium is so historic, and Rome is like a beautiful city anyway. Like, everybody's really excited that Europeans is in Rome. We're like, oh no, what a shame. I have to go to Rome for a few days before the Olympics. Oh no, where is me? You know?
So eyes on Asher-Smith, doesn't get the best start at all. In fact, it was very poor. Now starting to come through on Dosso, with Spavoda fighting as well. Asher-Smith by a narrow margin, but she does it. And what a look on her face. 10.99, Asher-Smith wins by 0.04 of a second.
Overall, I'm uber happy to have won the European champs again. That was my aim coming in here, obviously. I'm very happy to be a European champion. That final probs could have been a bit less hairy for me, if I'm being honest. I'm getting told as I've moved down this line, did we see this when you cross the line, that? I'm like, yeah, most likely. But overall, like, it's a championship, so I'm happy to have crossed the line first, happy to have won. Just moved coach, and I'm having so much fun just working on loads of new things, loads of new skills, and putting them into practice. So I was so happy with my second half, because that's not normally a skill set that I would have to like chase down people. Ooh, sorry. But hey, it was great fun. European champ. I'm in great shape. I'm very happy to have run two very different 10.9s. One slowing down and one like But yeah, ultimately I'm happy to have got another European title, so yeah.
I feel like if you were to ask my closest friends who I am, they would say very clumsy. They think it's really funny when you know, people are like, oh, she's cool. I'm like, they're like, she's never been cool a day in her life, which, yeah, I think that's probably the best way to describe me. But I feel like I'm just normal. Music-wise, I listen to, yeah, a lot of R&B, a lot of hip-hop, a lot of classic things, as in not classic music, but like, you know, the big pillars of hip-hop, R&B. I'm just kind of me, normal, cracking jokes like 95% of the day. That's me, I guess. I feel like I am one of those people where what you see is what you get. I have to say that. So, yeah.
What is your ultimate dream, Dina?
You know what? This is so funny because my knee-jerk reaction is to win the Olympics, right? But I think my ultimate dream, the one that's actually, I think, a bit deeper inside myself, is to just do something so crazy and so incredible. Like, it could be one performance, it could be a collection of performances, it could be a week or a race or something that people look back and they go, I didn't know she could do that. And I'll smile like, you know, like it was part of the plan. In the back of my mind, I'll be like, I didn't know I could do that. So I think that's actually what I want for myself. Like, I don't really just want to be an Olympic champion. I would like something like kind of crazy for myself as well, because I really think that particularly in like the next 5 or so years or whatever, I think I could do that. I feel like I'm around basketball a lot at the moment, but you know when somebody, it's not necessarily the win, but you know when somebody does like a crazy shot or a crazy point score and it's just a highlight reel like again and again for the sport, I would like one of those. You know? Yeah, one of those.
Well, are you any good at basketball, Dina?
Absolutely not. I've got zero hand-eye coordination. It's a miracle that they trust me with a relay bat, and I tell you. I'm clumsy. That's why I say when they say, who's Dina? I'm like, I'm clumsy and foolish. That's who I am. It's a miracle that I get out the blocks most days. Like.
Hey, I'm Ellis Fitzgerald, and you need to go and sign up to European Athletics YouTube.